I'm sorry. I don't know how I did that. This is going to be part two because I got to finish this. And it was the sky was the limit, but he only gave me to the end of this year because where the world is going to be after December is a place that's out of this world. So he limit me. The sky is the limit, but I still haven't seen anything coming out of this cleaning service. You see, I still see that daily bread in effect. But where it is that word hope. Hope is keep it alive. If he said the sky's the limit, it does not mean because you haven't had any business in 2 months, doesn't mean that you're not going to get. But I think I'm looking at okay, the half of the year is half. It's we got half a year. I only have 6 months, but y'all can still bless you within them 6 months to be able to get some sort of business. But after this year, that's it, y'all. I will close this cleaning service down at a blink of an eye because he said the sky is the limit until the end of the year. So I already know that I ain't got nothing coming after this year because he's given me the ability to get all this together. And I'm just saying, who's messing with the contracts? What's going on? What's in the background? Why haven't I gotten any business? But it's my hope. I have to keep hope alive and just trust in that next 6 months that someone would come along and I would get some sort of business. But after the 6 months, I'm closing it down. But y'all, this thing is not what it appeared to be. I'm telling y'all, this living is not what it appeared to be. But I believe so much is happening in everybody's life. They so up in their lives. They so living in all their means to where it's just going well for them. And I'm glad that it is, and it's going well for me too. It's just that I'm in the spirit realm, and I got to just lean my full hope and faith, belief, and righteousness, and upright and just, and fear in Yah, and just let it rest right there. Let it be what it's going to be. So as you go to Matthew chapter 6 and verse 11, give us this day our daily bread. We should look only for what is our daily bread in the kingdom, not on the earth. Because as you see here, this psalm said this prayer turns you back to something that's greater than anything. And it's in verse 13. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. But no, that ain't the verse. Wait a minute, let me give you the verse. No, verse 10. Before we get to verse 11, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10 and 11. But let's go to 10. Thy kingdom of come, thy will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. That's letting you know, Sister Deborah have to live the living, and the life that the kingdom have prepared for her daily. That's spiritual, y'all. A lot of people wouldn't grip it because they don't have it to grip, but that's what it is. That you understand that, Deborah, you must live the spiritual life that what the kingdom has done will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. So know that the kingdom has orchestrated your daily bread. Embrace it, salute it, trust it. It got you. Okay. Now, where I want to go, being this is part two, is Job. Job has the answer. Job 23. Listen to what Job says. Job has somewhat of what you call the answer. This is why these individuals are placed here in your instructions and direction book to give you the way that those who are vessels of Yah in the flesh, they are the vessels of Yah. They have the spirit of Yah in the flesh, and how they conduct themselves while the spirit of Yah is, while the seed of the spirit is in them. Okay, they are the spiritual seeds. So he's given, that's how we see them. But when we take these people and try to live these people, like, dog, I want to be a polygamy because Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Solomon, David, baby, you're trying to live their flesh out. What are you living out of their spirit? Because their spirit is the spiritual seed that was sent down here as a vessel of Yah. Are you living that spiritual seed of the vessel of Yah? Or are you just mimicking their flesh? Well, I tell you what, only one came down here we were supposed to mimic was Yeshua HaMashiach, and he had no wives. So which one are you mimicking? You're mimicking the flesh of those individuals. But Job is going to take me in the area and take you in the area, okay? Job is going to take you in the area where you can see how he is living his life in a way that Yah has ordered it. And this is what the key, the big power punch is in this whole message, part one and part two of this message, is that the Father wanted me to not use Joseph, Solomon, David, all of those that were wealthy in their living back then, and they had this, they had that, they had this. He said they weren't cursed, Deborah. Hmm. These weren't men that were stiff necked, rebellion, and disobedient. Hmm. Their father weren't stiff necked, rebellion, and disobedient. These are our fathers, but they weren't the stiff necked rebellion nor disobedient. Okay, they are also not a curse. You see, so you have to understand that they came at a different time. They were before Yeshua HaMashiach. You see, so we can't take them and try to mimic them today. If you're in captivity, why are you trying to mimic them? They weren't in captivity. They were before Yeshua HaMashiach. So you can't just take them and try to measure them to who you are today, Deborah, and what they have, or what anybody have. And say when David had it, Solomon had all of this and all of that. Abraham had it. You know, you can't, Yah said that we can't do it like that. Go to Yeshua. Did he have it? Go to Yeshua. He was the walk for us. And how to walk it the way God wanted us to walk it. Go him. Did he have all that answer? I heard he had no place to lay his head. So these are the things that the Spirit will remind me of. Yeshua didn't have it, Deborah. So a lot of times I look at Yeshua, and I see some of the things that I am living and walking therein. It's like his walk. And that is what all of us that are in the body of Hamashiach should be looking forward to, walking the walk of Yeshua Hamashiach. Because he was our example, our only example, you guys, that we should walk and serve Yah like the way he showed us and he spoke to us and he taught us. He the one gave us the Yah's prayer. Abraham didn't give us Yah's prayer. Abraham, Jacob, and Isaiah didn't give us Yah's prayer. David did. Moses didn't give us Yah's prayer. But Yeshua did. And this is why, going back to Deuteronomy 28, they don't want to abide by the end game because it's not for them to abide by it, Deborah. Are they under the same curse? Yes, but it doesn't matter if they get it or not. If they're in the dark, why should they gain light if they're walking in darkness with so much assurance that they are the way? You can't be the way and know the way if you're walking in midnight darkness. No, they're not calling anything the light. You don't hear them even say it. So it's just us that knows the light wants to include them in the light, and God said, stand down off of that. I'm sure the 10 virgins was included as the 10 virgins, not five. It was included as 10. But y'all want you to split that bad boy up. One with the light and one that had, five had the light and five didn't. That's that. Okay, which is the oil. Okay. Now we're going to hear from Job. Job, chapter 23 and verse 10. In Job chapter 23 and verse 10, he says in verse 10, but he knoweth the way that I take it. Job is Job is giving you some sort of a idea of the Father. This is Job addressing and answering some things that the men that was trying to really put him down while he was already down. How can you put someone down that's already down? Okay, so Job said in 23, in chapter 23 and verse 10, but he knoweth the way that I take. This is when you know who he is. You know what he stands for. And that's the same way I said, but the Father is teaching me. He's still teaching me. I told you I learn something every day. And I realized to learn something every day, that means that you are in the light. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know because I'm learning something every day that makes me special, but it does. That means Yah see fit that he can shine a little light, more light on you each day. Why? Because it's so dark out here, y'all. Why is it that the darkness has to get the glory? So Yah is saying, I will give you a little more light every day. Okay? So here he is, Job is saying, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he has tried me, yes, he does, I shall come forth as gold. See? Y'all work on those that are his. He don't waste his time with people who are stuck in darkness and calling it light. That's why they continue chasing their tails in circles. And they got the mass of the multitude right behind them. They're chasing his tail while they chasing their own tail at the same time. That's what you call messed up from the floor. Okay. Now you get to verse 11. He says, my foot has held his steps. My foot has held his steps. Now listen to Job. Now, you don't understand what Job said, but I'm watching this bad boy. I'm listening to Job give him all the glory. He's nailing this time, and I'm loving this. I'm going to have to hold firm on this one here, and I'm going to use that verse as to back me up in a message that I'm gonna give, because that's deep. Job said in verse 11, my foot has held his steps. You remember in Genesis chapter 3 in verse 15 how the Father said to the serpent, I'm going to give you your seed and I'm going to have my seed. One seed is going to what? Crush the head of the serpent. One heel, not two heel, one heel shall crush thy head, and thy head shall bruise the heel of the spiritual seed. That's right here. Come go what Job has taken you. Identical to Genesis 3 and 15 regarding the heel. One heel, not two. It's going to crush the serpent head. And the heel will be bruised from crushing the serpent head. Okay. Now watch this here. My foot, one. Only one of his foot have held his steps. Because Yah has ordered our steps. Our foot and heel is connected to the steps in our lives. Not like that is just set there to give you an idea of our steps of our living and our lives are ordered by Yah. That's why he said steps of a good man is ordered by Yah. See, people don't know nothing about that. And I'm feeling good today because I learned that, Deborah, you got to keep the things in the light. Do not connect that light with darkness. Let darkness stay on its side and you stay on your side. Don't try to put darkness and get darkness to understand light. And that is so true. So that's why the lane is there for me. So I can stay in the lane of the light and not go over there thinking that, okay, let me inform them of this, let me tell them this, and thinking that the dark can be connected and that detached to the light. So stay in your lane. Your lane is the light. Stay in it. That's what that's all about. Okay. So here in verse 11, Job chapter 23 and verse 11, my foot has held his steps. These are the steps of Yah that has been ordered for Job. And he's telling you, he's not saying his foot, his own foot. He's claiming his. He says, my foot has held his steps. Who is the steps? The Father's steps has been ordered for Job. It's Job's foot, but Yah has ordered the steps for him. Okay? Now he says, his way have I kept and not declined. This is Job. He said, the ways that Yah has ordered of my steps, I have kept. Watch this here. And not declined. Verse 12. Neither have I gone back from the commandments of his lips. I have esteemed the word of his mouth more than my necessary food. You see that? That bounces straight off of Matthew chapter 6, verse 11, when it says, give me my daily bread. Give us our daily bread. What do Job say? Job says, I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than the necessary food. Now, see what I try to explain to y'all? And I know it went over your head, is that the prayer that Yeshua is giving us, saying, give us our daily bread, is consist of spirit and natural of what we need. Father Yah, you give us that. Not our desires, not our want. This is why he brought it up to me in the yard when I was cutting up the grass. He brought me right back down to level ground. Because you knew 19 years ago, I told you that. I taught you that to you. So I got to bring you back down to level ground by reminding you, give us our daily bread. This is why you don't have. Another reason, Deuteronomy 28, you won that game. You got victory. It told you that those that are in the light is going to embrace the curse for what it said, what it means, and what it's going to do. That's how you won. So put that also in that same basket. So when Yeshua is teaching his disciples how to pray to the Father, give us our daily bread. You have to understand that means natural and spiritual. What we need, not what we want. And that's what the Father was explaining to me when I was cutting the grass. You have not because I gave you not. I know I gave you a lot of gifts. I know how I have anointed your hands. I know that you can go out and get, because the anointed is in your hands to do all those things. But daily bread is in mine, says the Lord. Daily bread is in my hand. You can go out and get whatever you want to get. I put the anointed in your hand. I've given you the ability to have all these gifts to accomplish any and everything. But your daily bread, baby, it's in my hand. I'm to give you your daily. So Job is saying it. Watch what he says. Job 23, verse 12. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. Because that's the daily bread. To esteem the word that Yah given to us. Magnify that. Glorify that. Edify it to the people on these different platforms. What he represents. And that's what Job is saying. More than I need food, I've shared his word more than my necessary food. I've given more about him, his word, than my necessary food. So when you get into Matthew chapter 6 and verse 11, understand that's what the daily bread is consist of. So when you get to verse, you can connect Matthew chapter 6, verse 11. And then you go to Job chapter 23 and verse 12. Put that right next to it. Cover the fact of daily bread. Okay. Now, when you get to verse 13, Job 23 and 13, it says, but he is in one mind. He is in one mind. And who can turn him? And what his spirit desires, and what his spirit desired, even that he do. See, we got it all messed up. We got it all messed up. Verse 14. For he performeth the things that is appointed for me. I'm getting chastised right now. For me. See how he's talking to me now with Job? See, I'm just giving this to you all because I brought Job into it because I was reading and I saw it. I said, let me bring this into this lesson. But it's blessing me. It's helping me going back to me cutting grass in emotional. Verse 14. For he performeth the things that is appointed for me. And many such things are with him. Not only do he appoint it, but many such things are with him. Job is giving him all the honor and the glory. He's giving him all glory and honor. Now, verse 15. Therefore am I troubled at his presence. When I consider, I am afraid of him. That's right. That's that fear he put in you, Job. He bring you with that fear. I know about it. Mm-mm-mm. Verse 16, for Yah maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubled me. And the Almighty, mighty, troubled me. So y'all, let me just leave that alone. Verse 17, because I was not cut off before the darkness, neither has he covered the darkness from my face. We're not covered from the darkness. That's why we're able to speak regarding the darkness. We're able to teach, preach, minister. And that's what Job is saying. He wasn't cut off. He said, look at verse 17, because I was not cut off before the darkness. Because the darkness is what we come as light to speak on and regard. To do. You cannot speak on darkness if you don't have the light. Only way you can speak regarding darkness if you are of the light or you have light. And that's what Sister Deborah do. A lot of people think, oh, she's just talking about me, and you know what? You're troubled. Not just in flesh, but you deeply troubled in spirit. It's matching your flesh is sending your spirit right where you receive your ticket already. Because the darkness is set there. And we that are in the light can speak regarding the darkness because we are in the light. So we must not be Yah will not take us from the way of the darkness to where we can't see the darkness to really warn others of the darkness or to testify against the darkness or to teach what the darkness is consist of. If he take darkness from us, then how can we speak of darkness if he remove darkness from us? And I like what Job said. Job said, because I was not cut off from before darkness, the darkness. I was not cut off before the darkness. Watch this here. Neither have he covered the darkness from my face. He allowed me to see darkness for what it is. He allowed me to be in the midst of darkness for what it is. Why? So I can be a testimony as the light. I can be the light speaking regarding darkness. But if I'm cut off from darkness and darkness not in the midst, then I can't teach and preach and minister and give the people what the light has to give them, because there's no darkness that that the light can show up in or on. You see? So the darkness has to be there. That's why I teach y'all that over and over and over. I call it midnight and in the darkness. Those that in darkness, you got to understand. The only way you can do that, the only way you have that ability, thank you. I thank Job for that. And I thank the Father for Job, because we are giving them the glory in a way that they are higher than Yah. Judah is giving Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their 12 tribes the highest level in the kingdom. And they have forsaken Yeshua by a long shot, and they have forsaken the Father. But they think it's all about their tribe. Is that not sick? But I just thank the Father for the message itself. And I'm gonna cut off here. This is just the part 2 of I don't even know the title I'm going to give it, but I'm gonna upload part 1 and part 2. And I hope you get something out of it. I'm going to get in here and get ready to do some things so that I can get my self ready this evening for my uh, granddaughter's graduation. So I pray that you all receive something out of it, and I will be live at 8 p.m. Central Time. And that song that I was telling you all about, let me get it out. I want you all to really. I got all these phone calls from out of country. I mean, out of state. Why would a teacher let these kids do his hair? He was looking to end his job, and it went viral. And it's a Negro man. Hmm. And I can't get enough of expounding on our men. I mean, and I just can't because it's just like it's crazy how they the thought pattern is just so messed up. And the name of this song, and I'm going to write it down and listen to it for 3 times, and then Sister Deborah is going to cover this song because I want to show you how some songs sends a message all the way to the bone marrow. And you all have heard of it. It's Lord, do it for me. If you can listen to it for 3 times in a row, let me show it to you. And I'm going to talk about this song. I'm going to talk about this song at 8 p.m. Central Time. Even when I'm singing the song within, I switch the word Lord over to Yah. But I like the feel that it gives me. Can you see it? So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of it. And I will be back 8 p.m. Central Time. I will be back. And I like to say shalom and shalom.